right button. Perfect. Like a pro. Look at my beautiful fucking face. Anyhow. Hey, how's it going? Hope everyone is doing well. So, I'm not going to be on for too long today. I've realised I can't read very well. I'm absolutely exhausted. Like, a magnitude above my other level of exhaustion that I've ever talked about. Thank you very much, Abe's. Very much appreciated for the sub. I love your face. I will attempt to keep up some form of work, good work, whatever I do. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, so in the next like hour and a half or so, just over an hour and a half, there's a Star Citizen Live. I think it's the props team today. I think they're going to be making some FPF weapons or something like that. So it might be interesting for some people to watch. I'm not sure if we'll get much tangible information from that, but maybe we will. Obviously, 3.10's got come out to live, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that. And if people want to talk about anything on the roadmap, so stuff for 3.11, 3.12, Squadron 42 stuff, please drop question in brackets in your question so that I can put that out more easily, whatever way you're asking your question. Yeah, so at the moment I'm super tired, and tonight, so after this stream, so I'll go for about an hour and a half maybe. After the stream I'm going to have a nap, because then I'm going online and doing some Org Spotlight stuff in game with, well, you'll see some stuff in the coming weeks, because I'm planning to get a lot more 3.10 gameplay on the go. Now, something I haven't really mentioned too much in my videos, but something is immediately highlighted here in YouTube, and when I talk about my state of the game, which I'll probably do on the weekend, there are some, obviously, issues with 3.10, and obviously some of those have been pointed out, but one of the major ones is larger ships and the restricted area landing corridors and splines. So if you're taking off at whatever 18 or Lorville with a caterpillar or large ship, yeah, it's hell. What can be hell, because you've got to get yourself out of the hangar quick enough, and then you've got to orientate yourself with quite a heavy ship to find the landing corridor. You don't want it to disappear or anything, and you want to try and get out of it. Now I've got some footage of me doing it, getting out of the caterpillar, but the first couple of times I did it, I was trying to do it, was hell. So there are certain issues with landing and takeoffs with the new restricted area system at Lorville and Area 18 specifically. And it's more Area 18 than Lorville, to be honest, but it is still both. And there's a load of other bugs with 3.10. Also been solved from 3.9's branch, admittedly. I'm having a relatively stable experience at the moment. I'm sure some people aren't. It's the nature of Star Citizen, is that some people are going to have a relatively playable experience when it's gone live. Some people are going to be having all these niggling little bugs, which are sort of quite rough, I suppose. Where's the hot board guy? Isn't that me? Is that... Are you saying there's another hot board guy on the internet? I don't think so. I think it's just me. Maybe Pyrian Flax, to a degree. I think I like him because he's grumpy. And really, at heart, I'm a grumpy old bastard as well. Well, I suppose you don't get to see me and I rage out constantly when I'm playing Apex Legends, because I don't stream Apex Legends. So, I like, keep all my rage for myself and my friends. That's our little secret. Well, not so much of a secret, but just for them. Performance is just for them. But great, yeah, question in brackets if you'd like to ask a question. That would be very, very helpful. Cloud Imperium have given me a rocket. No, a rocket? What am I talking about? A Grey Cat rock to give away. So I don't know how I'm going to be giving away that, but yeah. Have this. No, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, why not? So I might be giving that away on my social media, because I already do stuff on my YouTube. I don't know. ER, Scam Citizen, hello little cultist. Why are you so grumpy? You need to stop being grumpy. I'm going to have to put you in a timeout, sir. It's not civil. You can have differences and not like Star Citizen. And say the game's shit. You're allowed to say the game's shit. You're allowed to say you don't like it. You're allowed to say you don't think they're going to produce what they said they're going to produce. But coming in and trying to upset people by going Scam Citizen and hello little cultists, trying to put yourself above other people, which you're clearly not above anyone else, it's just rude and not civil. So chill. You can have, and if you've got a problem with Star Citizen or whatever, then share it in a civil way, because then people might actually listen to your point of view. And I'm fine with people having a different point of view from me, but not being a dickhead. There's only one of those on my channel, and that's me. Okay? I've only got room for one. Maybe Sin a little bit. Chill. Oh, so yeah, so it's in my editor. Well, my soon-to-be editor. She was supposed to start this month, but she's had to give a month's notice and at work, which we thought she wasn't going to have to because she was furloughed and stuff. But so long story short, she's working with me starting September 1st. She got very angry with me. So she's edited. She's done the editing for the 3.10 tutorial that I did. Or sorry, I did the voiceover for, and she did that actual gameplay and followed the tutorial to make sure that it was the correct footage, but also that the tutorial made sense and followed correctly. But when she looked through the script originally and made some corrections, and I'm not great with scripts. I just go off on one. I just go blah 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 blah, and just sort of chat. And she was very angry that I had gone off script, made the video twice as long, and was just sort of like thinking of stuff on the fly. So for scripted videos, with specifically scripted videos that are very, very specifically for guides, I suppose, and tutorials, I am going to be a bit more scripted and try and stay to those scripts. Just for, you know, I think it's sensible. You want to compress video. There's time and a place for me to waffle on, and that's what the live streams are for. That's what some of the other more contextual videos are for, I suppose. I've got my aircon on because it's too hot in my house, so if you're hearing weird distortion in the background, apologies. Tell me if it gets too bad and I'll adjust something. What do you think of the first implementation of the Grey Cat Rock? So, I like the cool little vehicle nature of it, but it doesn't have much use in game for sort of like... It doesn't make you much money, and it's a bit of a faff to get around, yeah? Because you have to transport it places, really, to make use of it. And although I like the idea of the vehicle, and I think eventually, once we have a proper supported economy and that sort of stuff, and a much more developed game, I think it's going to be great. At the moment, it's, I suppose, there for testing. But I suppose that's there for everything with Star Citizen. So it's functional, it's cool. There are a few little bugs with its mechanics, sort of like the vibrating crystals and the tractor beam not pulling everything properly into its little saddlebag. Or its rear cargo compartment more than the saddlebag, I suppose. But it's got a proper tractor beam, or a more proper tractor beam than the Prospect has. Prospector fakes its slurping of resources, but the thingamajig doesn't. I've forgotten words. Told you I'm tired. Grey Cat Rock. Bored, you don't need AC, you're already cool. Oh my god, that's bad. Istaff, I appreciate the terrible pun. Maybe I'll have a pun leader on the channel. You can currently be pun leader, Istaff, until I see a better pun. Apologies if I don't read your pun out. Can I have the rock? Good luck. I don't know how I'm giving it away yet. They're not purchasable in game yet. You can only buy them from the RSI website from $50. That it's not one that I would buy from the website, even if you have the money, in my opinion. Ground vehicles in general in Star Citizen are very cheap to purchase once you can purchase them, and they don't have much use at the moment beyond testing. Do you see what I mean? What do you think about mining in 3.10? It seems you can't scan composite 80% of the time. The rock can't suck up all the crystals. That is indeed true. So there are certainly some scanning problems. I'm hoping. Okay, so there's two things that are going to happen. Either CIG are going to try and put a 3.10.1 patch out within the next couple of weeks, or they're not, and they're just going to push on to 3.11. Yeah. Now I'm actually in favour of them pushing on to 3.11. If they can do a quick little hotfix which doesn't take any time, pow, great. Or if they've got a team that is just working on bug fixes, great. Cool little team, just sort this bug fix out really quickly. But I want them to get on with 3.11 as well. It's a hard balancing act. Playable alpha is just so confusing in my head. Why do have playable alpha? Complicated. Why not just? Why not just better game? No. Thank you so much, Michael Ike. Oh, you star. Bored. I'm loving 3.10 myself. We have been playing for hours every day. Only 2 crashes, so not horrible. Yeah, stability is pretty good for me. I don't think I've crashed yet, actually. I've got to add some desync issues and had to relog because of that. Not going to be able to watch the live stream today, but I will catch up later. Hope you and your dad are well. Thank you very much appreciated. Yeah, he's doing well. I've been sorting lots of stuff out, and we've been working out what he's going to do for his radiotherapy treatment. So it's like I've sort of been a bit exhausted working stuff out and helping the family with stuff. I've did I'm okay. So when it's not my own very personal stuff that I have to deal with, yeah. So like a personal disaster. As long as it's not a personal disaster, if it's someone else's disaster or hard problem, like with my family and stuff, I'm very good at putting it in order. Like I'm saying, we need to do this, we need to do that. These are the things that we should do. If you don't know how to make your decision, then you just want to get all the information you can and make your decision based on all the information. Why not ask all the questions you can? Like you make a list of questions. These are the sort of things I'd ask. So we're asking the doctor about medication and having radiotherapy and stuff like that. Because obviously it's on my dad's brain, so radiotherapy has risks. But doing pretty well. So, but yeah, sorry, I don't want to overly rant every stream about my own personal issues. Although I will. Fuck you if I want to. But thank you so much, Michael. Very much appreciated. You're a star. I love money as well. You've had a few 30Ks within an hour of the servers coming up 3.10 again after they came up after maintenance. Okay. So yeah, so some people are getting 30Ks and 10Ks, and some people are just not. That's one I can see, but that's Star Citizen. It doesn't seem that everyone's getting it. I think it's pretty stable. I've had a 30K and one crash to text top in about 8 to 10 hours of play. That is pretty good stability. The sort of like baseline for stability is they want crash free for around average 2 hours, I think, for a build. That's what I said a while ago. I suspect it's gone up a bit from that, but I'm glad people enjoy the tutorials and stuff. Hopefully she was going to be editing a few little videos this week, but not a huge amount this month. And then 1st of September, full-time employment, properly employed, none of that subcontractor bullshit. She's a member, a full BoredGamer, my first employee for BoredGamer. Oh, thank you so much. People send me loads of money. As I said, I like money. Is that get people to donate for some reason? Have a 12er on me, you beautiful potato. So far, a 12er? What? So far, enjoying 3.10. Any ideas when the first implementation of Quanta might come? So, that's a complicated thing to explain. No, I don't know. Let's start with that. So, no, I don't know when the first implementation is coming. The backbone and bits towards that, and some stuff which is very much connected with it, with the dynamic economy, dynamic mission system and stuff, is being worked on now, and we might see some of that by the end of the year. Will that be proper Quanta stuff? I don't know. I don't think so. I think early to mid next year we might start to see the very early stages of Quanta. Like this year, though, we might see physicalized components, we might see spawn lockers for NPCs, we might see a physical inventory, so a lot of this stuff obviously building towards the Quanta system because they need it all built out so that everything's properly physicalized and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, and some stuff with the dynamic missions and the dynamic economy stuff this year, sort of on the precipice of starting the first stages of Quanta. And so Quanta is the more dynamic universe simulation for people that don't know, that Tony Zarovic showed off at the end of 2019. Hello Games, thank you so much, sir. Hope you're doing well. I heard you like money. I like money too. Weird. I know, right? Someone subbed. West. B West. 0411. I hope that is not your PIN number. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. I do want to promote people becoming members on whatever platforms they like, and I'm going to be pushing more and more, potentially over Patreon and stuff, the YouTube join membership stuff, because obviously a lot of what I do is connected directly with YouTube, with the channel. Obviously we stream as well. It's largely YouTube videos, and there's a little bit of uncertainty with Patreon, I suppose, as well, isn't there, at the moment, where people are worried that They lost that court case, which means that they might have to arbitrate a lot of cases of people that are annoyed at them that they kicked some content creators off. And I won't talk about my personal views and that sort of stuff because people are like, what? I don't keep stuff politics free. One day maybe I'll do politics as a separate channel when I'm in like 10 years time. Like, heard any rumours on the Santok Yai? So Santok Yai is the medium Xi'an fighter, but no, we have not heard anything more on it. We are waiting on a new Tavaran fighter, or potentially light fighter, the Talon, the Spirit Talon reproduction of it. We believe that's what the Talon is, and we're not sure when that's coming. That could be straight to flyable. I think it's more likely to be a concept, potentially some variants and stuff like that as well, but we don't have all the details yet. We don't have many of the details at all yet, in fact. But probably with a slight stealthy touch. And I think Star Citizen Leaks sell that something for $100 was potentially added to the store, so they're thinking maybe it's $100 when it goes on sale. And when would it go on sale? I don't know. It could go on sale this month if it's a concept. I would expect it to go on sale this month if it was a concept, in fact. With how much the Hercules has been shown off recently, do you think we'll see it earlier in 3.11 rather than 3.12? I think we'll see it in 3.12. I think we'll see it at the end of this year. That's the current plan. Yeah, so if they do some fixes to 3.10, it needs to be for desync. It needs to be for the spline stuff. It needs to be for the delay, because there's delays in some actions. Obviously, if you're trying to mine and there's delays with your UI, that's not great. But I'm hoping that we see the Mercury Star on in 3.11. That's exciting for me. And I bought a couple of Mercury Star Runners for giveaways. Well, I have a couple of Mercury Star Runners for giveaways. I need to buy some more when they go on sale as well, because I want to do lots. Though I suspect... Oh, yeah. You don't need to know. You don't need to know that stuff yet. Given the turret upgrades, do you have a new favourite multi-crew ship? I mean, the Hammerhead's pretty fucking slick now, right? Cutlass Black's fun to fly. Does a load of damage with its turret. I haven't tried out the Hurricane much yet. I only tried that out in the PTU. So I'll probably mess around with the Hurricane. Currently adding £20 a month to my account for the MSR. What? Oh, I see. You're putting £20 a month buy for getting a Mercury Star on it for yourself. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Good luck in the giveaway. A very low chance of winning, I suppose, but it's still a chance. Got to be in it to win it, as it were. What else have we got? I thank you very much for... I get quite a few emails and messages on Discord every day asking my dad's alright and asking how I'm doing and saying thanks for whatever. Typically, thanks for rocking and keep on doing what you do and sharing with you when you're depressed and stuff. Mate, I'm so tired at the moment. I'm so exhausted. But it's a very sort of like first world privileged exhaustion. But I am bipolar, so I'll take it and I'll complain about it and you will have to fucking deal with it. And I, at the moment, am so tired and very, very depressed for no reason. I was an emotional wreck the last couple of days, where I just was crying at the slightest thing randomly. Cried at the thought of a cat getting killed, or not getting enough pets was one of them. One of my mates was arguing with their partner. That made me cry. Mate, a wreck at the moment, just tired. So that's it from me. That's my personal stuff. Doing pretty well health-wise, though, I think, other than being tired. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm going for a run every day for about half an hour to an hour now. I'm trying to get it closer to an hour. I think that's sort of important when we are living in lockdown world. I think one of the reasons I'm sort of like a bit... it's slightly burnt out, is what it is. And it's not burnt out with the Star Citizen or YouTube or anything. It's burnt out of being stuck inside. I want to get out. I want to play board games with my friends. I want to play some Warhammer 40,000. or Adaptus Titanicus, and I want to go to the fucking pub. I want to go to the pub, but I don't want to endanger myself and my family by doing that, by being selfish. Especially if I have to wait like a month or so more before it's a bit safer. Maybe, no one knows. I don't know. I do think the Mercury Star Runner will have Advocacy and Night Runner skins on launch. Oh, I do think there will be skins. And I think that new ships, when they release them, they're building them in mind with skins. So hopefully we'll be able to get those skins that people have previously been able to win. So the Advocacy and the Night Runner was the ones with the little, not competition, but the little event thing, yeah? That we've already got. So hopefully they'll be ready. I would hope, yeah. That'd be cool if they are. I would think that they would be. The Belligerent Duck. That's the name of it. Thank you very much, sir. I've heard some people complain that the Cutlass Black is now worse to fly due to the flight changes. It's different. All ships are different. With that in mind, do you prefer the Freelancer base or the Cutlass Black? I like the Cutlass Black because it's cheap and it's relatively effective for my needs. I'm always going to like it because it's cheap. So the Cutlass Black and all ships are certainly heavier feeling. Their thrusters react slower. It's much worse to fly in atmosphere than it was that Cutlass Black. Much worse. Hi, know any good profitable trade routes? Galog is out of date, so not that I've tested during live yet. I will get a quick... I'll get a very quick money-making guide up soon, looking at some trade routes and stuff that are good for grinding and some missions and stuff that you should focus on if you're in that particular sort of role, and then I'll do something a bit more expansive. You worry about Squadron 42? Okay, yes, but probably not in the same way that you think. So I don't think we're much delayed with Squadron 42. I'm sort of pointing a bottle at people. A ghost bottle. Ooh. So I think Squadron 42 might be delayed at the moment from the current outdated roadmap by about a quarter or two, probably 2 quarters. Maybe beta, their internal beta, Q1 2021 sort of thing. Yeah, that's what my internal sort of thing says. I mean, I'm slightly worried they haven't shared enough with us. They should share more. They need to share more. That is a worry, and that's fair enough to worry about or be concerned about or ask for more. Hope you get some rest on the weekend. Thank you very much. I will. Don't worry. I've got to do a Star Citizen thing tonight, which will take a few hours, but I'm going to nap after this stream, and that should be fine. So what was I saying? What was I going on about? Squadron 42 stuff. So what I do worry about Squadron 42 is it going to be a good game? It needs to be a genuinely great game. It needs to be 95% plus in ratings. Really, it needs to be 9.5 or plus. Otherwise, people are going to attack it for using all the money, because they'll with Squadron 42, the media will talk about it as if it was Star Citizen, as if it was the main part of the project, what's used all the money, all that sort of stuff. It will be talked about like that. It'll be this $450 million game. Yeah, it's a 9, but it's not a 9.5. That's the sort of thing. And if it's lower than that, that's worrying for me, because they need to make a genuinely great game with Squadron, because they need to prove that they can make a genuinely great game. I'm hoping that it's going to be good. It should be good. They've put enough time and effort into it. They've got the good people working on it, for sure. Chris Roberts has got the vision. He's a little bit overly perfectionist with this stuff, which has caused a long sort of bit of the sort of development cycle to be expanded out by months and months and months and months and months and months, if not years. So you could certainly talk about, is Chris Roberts great for the game's development? Well, it wouldn't have existed without him. But you can criticise him for being probably a little bit overly perfectionist, but it's his game, his baby, his dream. So I think a lot of people back Star Citizen for that reason, because they are patient. But Squadron 42 has to be good, right? Has to be good. Are we all agreed on that? Oh, thank you very much, Cozy Physicist. Very much appreciated for the sub. New star. And seen Sean Donahue. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. I appreciate the subs. They are building a new star map out at the moment. I saw someone asking a star map question, but then I immediately lost the question. They are using the new UI stuff to build out the star map. Let's cut this black stuff. I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of work that went into 3.10, a ton of fundamental changes to the game, most in one patch in a long time. So for core systems and flight model and stuff, yes, there's a huge amount of changes, and that affects all levels of gameplay in 3.10. Does it have much in the way of game-specific new gameplay features? No, but it's changed everything. And there's lots of prettiness updates and stuff like that as well. So there was quite a lot in there, but it was, for me, it's mainly focusing on that flight model changes, combat changes, atmospheric flight, sign distance field additions, so that they're now using for, it was for fireballs and atmospheric re-entry, but that's going to be used for shields as well, that same tech. Yeah, no one wants to do a character reset if you can avoid it. To what percentage do you think we might see the Starlifter in 3.11? Well, I think it's either going to be 0% or 100%, based on whether it's there or not. That's a very personal joke. I'd say 8.5, 85%. 8.5 out of 10. It's my confidence level in it. What do you think it will take for Cloud Imperium to pull the game out of this slump of terrible stability and lack of gameplay we've been experiencing for a while now? So I think people see it a bit differently. So I want more communication, and beyond that, I just want general progress on the game. So I like the additions they're putting into the game, and I get good stability. I know that not everyone does, but from what they've said, they are building the core of the game still, and a lot of that will actually be done by the end of this year. So a lot of the stability, there's the expectation for stability, but I suppose they haven't said it's definitely going to be stable by the end of the year. They're just building out things like finishing off server-side object container streaming, the iCache, getting lots of the new network code stuff in, all the new services. They've even talked about more player concurrency by the end of the year. The assumption there is stability as well. Will 3.11 be released on time at the end of September? That's the target, end of September, for a live 3.1. 3.11, 3.11. But typically they release it each year around October 10th, around CitizenCon would have been. But I think this year they're actually planning it for it to be the end of Q3 release, like it's supposed to be. But we don't know. Beyond, that's when it's targeted. Do you think they should have kept it one game, combining story elements into an MMO as the main story quests? Oh, I see. It was never really 100% pitched as that, was it? Wasn't it? Well, it was Squadron 42 they were going to make, and then they added multiplayer to it, and then they made it an MMO. And split it off. Look, I'm fine with Squadron 42 being this great Wing Commander tribute single-player game, and then the Persistent Universe being a cross between that and Eve. Can we name it 3.11 for work groups? 3.1. Oh my god. 3.11. Winners for work groups, man. Many ships have been placed on hold in their development. Do you think that many ships are actually finished, but their features are not implemented, so haven't been released? There's not that many ships left to actually be released. There's very few, in fact, now. We actually look at it for the human side of ships. I mean, alien ships, like there's loads of Vandal ships, but they're not really going to. We're not going to see a load of those Vandal ships until Squadron 42. But there's not actually that many ships anymore that are in concept that haven't finished the cycle. But so some of the ships The reason they're not out is just because they don't have enough people able to work on ships to get them out. Because a lot of the people that would be working on ships are working on space stations, interiors, environments, and Squadron 42. Good evening to Oz, Benj Oz. Do you think Cloud Imperium should continue down the path of sacrificing fun and playability for realism? Are they? So I think they should sacrifice realism for fun and gameplay purposes, always. Fun and gameplay trumps everything else for me. I'm fine with gamified systems. You do it as diegetically as possible, yeah, great. You make it as realistic as possible, but fun and gameplay need to trump everything else, and then you can bring it back a little bit towards the realism. I'm not sure of the instance that would be necessary. Can the rock tractor up leavings of a large node that a ship just mined? No. It can only carry the gems. At least when I last used it, it could only carry gems. Hello from Bournemouth. Battled my way through the traffic from people going to the beach to get home to watch the stream. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. I'm going to be planning a Star Citizen in either Bournemouth or Brighton. As soon as, well, not as soon as lockdown is over, but when it's nice and safe to do so. And I'm going to try and get Moist Noodle and Detox and some content creators down as well. Isn't the 3.10 crew meant to move on to 3.12? Ah, yes. So a load of the 3.10 people that were working on 3.10 features are either working on 3.11 or 3.12 features now, yes. It doesn't work, the staggered development doesn't work exactly like everyone that was working on 3.10 when it gets released now works on not the next patch, but the patch after. It's not exactly like that, but the rough breakdown of teams is similar. Do you think a mining operation with a C2 M2 Hercules loaded with 4 rocks would be a good idea in the future? The issue with that is that there's probably not enough rocks in an area that you drop those. There's not enough minables in the area that you drop the rocks off before you need to move them again. Do you see what I mean? Having them all in Cutlass Blacks and being able to move around might be better. But if we start to get more densely packed minables and cave systems with them, then maybe running a load of them in a Caterpillar or a C2 might work. At the moment, not profitable. In the future, maybe profitable. Nothing really so far smooth as for me. Okay, upgraded the prospector from upgraded to a prospector from a Cutlass. Good choice if you like mining. Base mining is back and working. Although the planet side mining I prefer because the environments are beautiful. That's true. So some of the planets and moons I really enjoy mining on. And there's lots more minables around now. Yeah, so this is footage from the 2019 CitizenCon. Sort of like, we have almost all of this in game now, except for the specific mission they show. I'm hoping that we get something a bit better that with 3.11. I think they do have some stuff planned for some new sets of missions that are very basic, but a bit more in depth. And we don't have the jump gates and Pyro. Obviously, Pyro wasn't properly in here. It was just the jump gate sort of test and an empty Pyro system they jumped into. And could we have Pyro by the end of the year, by 3.12? It's a possibility. What feature are you most looking forward to? Everything coming together. I mean, I'm really into the Quanta and the economy stuff, but it's everything coming together. It's so important for me to Star Citizen to be an MMO, to be that massively multiplayer game. Do you think the storage of the rock should be rounded up to 1? Yeah, I think it'd be fine with 1 SCU. 0.8. Are all plans to have a Cutlass with 2 rocks searching for ore for a small group of prospectors and harvesting any gems that they find as well? Yeah, I mean, I think some planets and moons are going to be better for others than for that. And if you get your sort of like your gameplay loop down and your efficiency of this is where we go and this is the sort of like where we move and how we move and stuff, then I think that could be pretty profitable probably. So how do you make money in 3.10? They made all ships available, but decreased payouts across the board. So there's scaling payouts now for difficulty of missions, and you'll get more difficult missions based on the description. You'll be able to work out some more difficult missions as well, but you'll effectively get more rep by doing some of the mission change and then get more missions from that. I do like bounties, for example. I like chaining bounties, do a load of bounties, make a load of money from bounties. The Twitch Pacheco missions, they pay out quite a bit as well now. Not a massive fan of Aberdeen. I like the fact there's a prison on it, but that's about it. Would you create an alt YouTube account for other games and gameplay when your own video pipeline is more efficient? I do have another channel, BoredGamer 2.0, which is the second channel for other games. I just don't upload to it very much at all because I don't really play much else. But yes, we will. Me and Sin will be playing other games, co-op games in general. Probably more focused on co-op survival and that sort of stuff. But most of my work, my YouTube stuff, is going to be mostly focused on Star Citizen. And though there are other games that I certainly am interested in the future, new Diablo games, Overwatch 2. Sons of the Forest. Do you think that if there weren't a playable alpha, there might be some bad UI elements that were less intuitive? There are definitely bonuses and benefits for having the community help develop Star Citizen throughout its playable alpha. But do you get them trying to build a horse and building a camel instead of that? When do you expect the earliest we will see something in the Hull series flyable? The earliest, if we're really lucky, end of this year. So because they're building on the docking stuff now, and you can see that with the Constellation and the P-72, P-52, they've got their docking undocking. They're being worked on that at the moment, and that's a big part of the docking system. And hopefully that's going to be done for 3.12. Now, could we have the Hull C then as well? Possibly, although I think it's more Q1 2021 now. Can we get slightly shorter quantum travel times? So, if you have the right quantum drive, you will have shorter times. Do you mean... I feel like right now, it's more than half the gameplay is just waiting for you to reach your destination. So, okay, the idea is that you don't... If you're in a small ship, you don't really want to be moving between planets too often. Yeah? It's fine to move between moons and stay within the same planetary system and nearby. But if you keep on moving between planets, that's not in your best interest. You want a larger ship. Or, even if you do have a large ship, you're only going to really want to go to that area and stay in that area for as long as you can within that planetary system. So, just around Crusader, just around Microtech. I think that's sort of part of the game. Once we have more reasons and more ability to stay around those areas, I think that travelling becomes a lot more important and meaningful. At least that's the way I see it. And the way I want it, I think. Do you think The Rock is wasted development considering a month into the game, the fastest UEC game most likely won't include the vehicle? So, I mean, it's in for testing at the moment, as with all stuff in Star Citizen. Ground vehicles are not particularly useful at the moment. They're fun, they work. You can do stuff with them if you've got your sandbox gameplay set up and you want to do something with your org or whatever, but they're not great. And they're certainly not moneymakers. So it doesn't need to be a moneymaker to be functional and be part of Star Citizen at the moment. Obviously you're going to have wipes and stuff. Nothing's going to be a moneymaker because there's still going to be server wipes and asset wipes. So fine with it being there for testing. Functional, it's cool. The more box delivery missions you do you think that will get better missions? Yeah. haven't actually chained too many of the delivery missions together myself. But for bounty hunting and a load of the other missions, you get more money the more of those missions you do, although some of them get harder. We need to get more money from the delivery missions. Yes, that is true. By a significant amount. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. It's very rude of me. I think a lot of movement around systems and areas as well. I think people are going to be boarding at spaceports like Genesis Starliners that are like NPC run. You can go on one of them. That will take you to another planet, another landing zone there, and then you'll have another ship there that you can fly your short range fighter directly from there. I think that people are going to have lots of assets at lots of different planets. Again, very similar to Eve. Should I get rid of my microwave to prevent 30Ks? If your internet hubs, if you put your hub in your microwave and you go, I get a disconnect every time I cook a lasagna in my microwave and my hub's in there, then maybe. Or you could just take your hub out of your microwave. That poor dev that made that. The point he was making when he talked about the microwaves and people getting disconnects was they can't ever say that you're going to permanently get rid of 30k disconnects, because some 30k disconnects are out of their hands and will always be well past release. Some. Squadron 42 is definitely delayed. We don't. So, I mean, can you delay a game without a release date? I mean, that's another question, isn't it? Make me laugh. Fuck off. How about that? Does that make you laugh? Did they add some Vulkan tweaks on 3.10? So, there's certainly Vulkan code that's being put in the 3.10 stuff, because you can see that the DLLs are injecting it and things like that. But there's no proper Vulkan support yet. I'm expecting Vulkan support by the end of the year. So 3.11 or 3.12, I'm expecting them to have some of their Gen 12 renderer stuff in. Statement. To those asking for shorter quantum travel times, Star Citizen creates these elaborate ships for people to live in them. I do see the argument for those in smaller ships, but small ships are meant for short travel. I agree. I agree with you, Mr. Sparrow. Will Pyro be in 3.12? It's possible. Do you reckon they'll do another big sale this year? Yes. There will be the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November, almost certainly, because it's huge to them. It'll probably be there. It'll probably be bigger than the Fleet Week sale of March. No, May. When was the Fleet Week sale? Around then, whenever it was. May. Because they've got lessons learned now. They know how to do their sales. So I suspect that. But also they're going to have some form of event instead of CitizenCon this year, because CitizenCon's been cancelled around the 10th of October. Some form of in-game event. See what happens. Maybe they'll have Xeno threat stuff. Maybe they'll have the inklings of Pyro and the start of that. Maybe they'll have some big major fleet battles. And maybe it'll be the Arlington Gang Idris stuff. Well, thank you very much for the money, Arthur Sargisian. Is it Sargisian? Sargs Ryan. Sargsian. Arthur Sargsian. Thanks very much, sir. I'll get your name maybe right eventually. Anyone know how stable and competent the AI is? How is new flight model coming from Elite Dangerous? So comparisons welcome. Finally, how is progression, persistence, missions, and work? It's very much an alpha still. The atmospheric flight is fantastic compared to what it used to be. Really enjoying that at the moment, although the landing splines at Lorville and Area 18 leave a lot to be desired because they're buggy and can trap people. Persistence, erratic. It's not truly persistent at all yet. Progression, because there's not proper persistence and there's wipes still, there's no true progression, no reason to progress really either at the moment without a dynamic economy. However, almost all the ships are now available in-game to buy, so if that's your goal, great, you can progress that and try all the stuff out. So at the moment, Star Citizen is very much a tourist destination and a alpha where you're trying stuff, finding bugs, finding stuff you like, working out how the game works, and really at the moment working out what ships you like. So you can play now, grind, buy a load of ships out, go, actually, this is the ship I want, purchase that ship at real money, or just go, I'm going to go for this ship when the game's released or whatever. I really like it. If you're going to play Star Citizen and you want to play it for gameplay purposes, find an org to play with, because that turns a few dozen hours of gameplay into thousands of hours of potential gameplay with the right org. Because they'll do their own events, and so it works great sandbox, Star Citizen. Will we be able to share our large ships to any of our org members in the future? That is the expectation. There's supposed to be a permission system in the future that should allow that. Do you think we'll see a digital CitizenCon this year? No, so I think we'll see something else instead of CitizenCon this year. Around the 10th of October, some form of in-game event, that's what they suggested. Maybe a video and some stuff as well, but not a true digital CitizenCon, no. I do think we'll see a CitizenCon early to mid next year, though. And they'll go, 2021's CitizenCon, we'll do it between January and sort of like May. February and May. Do you think Cloud Imperium will do anything to do during quantum travel? Yes. So there'll be things that happen, like people pull you out of quantum travel, asteroids, police, pirates, distress signals, you'll detect stuff. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of different things to do. Also, your ship might blow a fuse. You might need to go and repair it. When Squadron 42 releases, do you think they will move that staff onto Star Citizen? I think a lot of them will move into stuff for Star Citizen, and I think they'll be taking a little break before moving on to Squadron 42 Chapter 2. Oh, no, it's Episode 2. It's not Chapter 2. Episode 2. Because they'll need to fully plan out Episode 2 before building it anyway, narratively speaking. And they shouldn't need much more in the way of like core systems, because the engine's there, it's all working. Episode 2, then it's just mocap and building the missions, building the getting the mocap, getting the actors to do stuff, and the storyline. Much easier, or at least much less work than having to build out a full game. Squadron 42 is arguably why the Persistent Universe is taking so long. I mean, they're producing 2 games. That's yeah. Once they release Squadron 42, we expect them to shift focus. Yes, that's true. However, episode 2 and 3 of Squadron 42, do you think they'll move immediately on to part 2? Yeah, as I said earlier. Thoughts on Star Runner images from inside Star Citizen? I need to see it more built out, the Star Runner, before I make my final judgment on it. Really, I want it in my hands. Looking forward to the Star Runner, though. Do you think they should drop the 4.0 patch without server meshing? I think they can. So they want to hold the 4.0 moniker for when they have the pyro system in. That's what they've said. Is it true you guys are building a Titan-class ship called the Horizon? And the underwater base... What? What? My mic should be right, shouldn't it? Have you experienced any issues with turrets that are now exposed to atmosphere that haven't been before? Oh, the Retaliator now kills my friends. I haven't used a Retaliator in ages. No, I have not experienced that myself. The monthly report said iCache is finished. Should they be releasing it in 3.11? Do you think they will? I would expect to see it by the end of this year. Hope it would be 3.11. That'd be great. Split the difference and do a Star Citizen in Portsmouth, maybe? I'd probably do it in Southampton because it's my hometown. I was going to do it in Portsmouth. I'd do it there instead. Ba-ba-ba. What else we got? Does everyone get the M50, Car2L, and Archimedes Emerald as a loaner for this update? I don't think everyone's supposed to. I've got access to them. When can we expect Horizon to be implemented into the game? So they want to have it split 2 parts, Q1 and Q2 of 2021. We're getting some of Crusader and Horizon in Q1, and then the rest of it in Q2. I haven't played any 3.x of Star Citizen, and I'm wondering whether the Buccaneer has seen its gameplay mechanics added yet. The Buccaneer, yes, it's a fighter, and now it doesn't fall apart. I'm just a Star Citizen analyst. Yeah, I'm a super fan and fan content creator, but I have a modicum of access to devs, I suppose. I suppose everyone does with this project. I'll poke them if I need to ask questions, but seeing my channel and all of my focus is Star Citizen, sort of like at least 4 hours a day, I suppose I do Star Citizen stuff, and I have 6-7 days a week for the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe 4 years for that sort of dedication. I know quite a bit. But certainly not everything. I mean, lore's pretty weak, and the current meta stuff I'm always pretty weak on. Although I'm going to start to poke some people like Moist Noodle and stuff that are good mates to give me more meta updates. Anyone having power issues with their 325A? I haven't used it in the live build. How do you see the missions in the PU evolving? Will they eventually be story-driven missions that carry us around the world or take us around the planet? So there are going to be some missions that are like that, like you want. The more theme parky missions, the more sort of like mission giver full-on missions, which you can do once. But there's going to be a load of much more in-depth but modular missions with loads of variants as well. Do you think with the Constellation work currently happening, there will be any fixes done to the shield holes? So shield holes will be getting largely and hopefully fixed with the Sign Distance Field Tech, which I'm expecting by the end of the year for shields. That's an update to all the shields. In its current iteration, making money with groups is inefficient. What is a good way of balancing making money for players playing in groups more than 2? That's a good question. There needs to be more difficult missions or the necessity to have just one ship or something like that, so that you're in a multi-crew because you're only allowed to bring one ship, or something like that. I don't know how you do it, but it does. I totally agree with you. There does need to be more of an incentive to make money with groups, and that to be advantageous for you to work as a group. When the game is fully released, will real life go into alpha? Huh. Already is an alpha, mate. It's shit and broken. How more alpha do you want? What system do you think they are going to build for Star Citizen after the Pro system? So they're already building Odin, obviously, because it's for Squadron 42. But I think we'll probably get the Nyx system, because it looks likely to me that they'll build a chain towards the Odin system. So Nyx makes most sense. And we have Delamar as well, which is in Stanton at the moment, but it's supposed to be in Nyx. When do you think was the 0G push and pull? I think we'll start to see that in 3.12. And I think it will allow you to move components and larger containers around to put on your ship and that sort of stuff for salvage and looting and cargo and all that sort of jazz. Will PC requirements get more demanding? They should be more scalable, so less demanding at the lower end, more demanding at the higher end. What content do you think that CIG are holding back to announce for the replacement con? I don't know. I suspect we'll see some near and mid-term gameplay. So, like, some different styles of missions, some stuff with the Pro system, probably some fleet battle stuff. I think they probably want to start doing marketing for Squadron 42 relatively soon. Obviously, new ships. They like their new ships. Should I buy the UEE pack or wait for the anniversary? I'd wait for the anniversary to see if there's something like that. Obviously, as well, I don't like spending huge amounts of money on ships, even though I've already spent about $3,000. I'm a monster. I'm not your dad. Any word on interdiction gameplay? So, obviously, we have some ships, like the Cutlass Blue and the Mantis, that have the interdiction drives. Are there plans to allow players to keep ships purchased legitimately with hard-earned, legitimate in-game credits? I lost 2 earned with many hours of gameplay. So, when you buy a game, when you buy a ship in-game, that's tied to your account until there's a reset. Should be. Yeah? Why is the last AMA episode set for members only? I don't know. I'll sort that out. I'll sort that out, Ted. Yeah, I'll sort it out. Don't you worry. Do you believe that Squadron 42 beta will be released this year? It will not be released, no. It's possible that they could get their beta ready by the end of this year, but that's a internal studio beta. That's for them to test. Like, the same way you don't get... Yeah, do you see what I mean? It's not for public-facing beta. What else have we got here? I heard that chip wipes in 3.10 is a bug. So, as far as I was aware, there wasn't an asset wipe 3.10. A lot of people said there was. There was a database reset, so you have to recreate your character and all that sort of stuff. But the long-term persistence was enabled, so they were trying to copy stuff over. Yeah? So, effectively, there's been a partial wipe where most people have got most of their assets, but not everyone has everything, and some people were wiped. What drew me to the PU was a chance to explore and do pathfinding. Is that a pipe dream? No, there should be some quite in-depth exploration mechanics, both on planets that have already been explored and missions associated with that, but also like points of interest that you'll be able to find in star systems and just keep on going. Just keep on going past into the back. That's my expectation for points of interest. You'll be able to scan down and go exploring and with like your long-range carrack. Will we see better timed cinematic music in the PU? Probably. I mean, they keep on updating that stuff, won't they? What else have we got? Is each Squadron 42 episode a separate game? Yes. It's not DLC. As far as I'm aware, Squadron 42 episode 1, 2, and 3 are all their own standalone AAA games. Speaking of ships, like everything I hear about the Mercury Star Runner is love. What about it makes it so universally popular? I think that. Well, let me just go back to that. I think their own standalone AAA games. That's what I was led to believe. Yeah, I believe they are. What about the Mercury Star Runner makes it so universally popular? It's just a cool looking ship. It does a little bit of everything. It's a bit like the Millennium Falcon. It's a cool multi-role ship, isn't it? You know of any idle animations where you're sitting on your ship purposely being idle? Such as reading a book, putting your feet up on the console with a coffee? No, not super in-depth ones. I would expect to see NPCs do stuff like that, though. Limited VR support. I don't think we need it soon. I'm expecting to see Squadron 42 get VR support first. And I'm expecting that to probably be next-gen VR. I would refer to the Valve Index as VR Gen 2.5, and we're looking for Gen 3. So looking forward to the Star Runner, but should I upgrade my Cutlass back, or keep the Cuddy and just try and earn the Star Runner game? Potentially just try and earn the Star Runner in game. However, I do think upgrading the Cutlass back is a viable option as well. Like, you'll probably use one or the other. In my expectation, you'll probably use the Star Runner a lot more. But obviously, it's $125 more, so oof. They will be adding proper security scans done via the Quanta system in the future. And those sort of things, and asteroids pulling you out again and stuff. They've paused some of that. They've put some different bits in. A lot of it was breaking stuff, so they've made it happen a lot less. Morning Board 3.10 seems to have more stability issues than the 3.9. Not for me. My experiences are I haven't had any instability issues really. Once, when there was a load of desync, I had to relog. But stability issue-wise, no, not for me. I think some people are having no stability issues. Some people are having loads. Hey, Bob, what's your favourite flyable ship in games so far? It changes. I'm looking forward to the Reclaimer being fully operational. I love the bit of Cutlass back. When you get 150,000 subscribers, will you do a little dance? I'll do a little dance. Do a little dance now for you. It was a little tiny short dance. Bored, are you terribly attached to that yellow face icon you use for your channel? I've tinkered with a few designs that are a little more on brand. You're also taking. I'll have a look at your designs, but yes, I'm pretty attached. I'm pretty attached to that. It's so fucking simple. There are going to be procedural bodies to explore like Elite. So not procedural, not procedurally generated planets on the fly, or moons on the fly as far as I'm aware, in any way, shape or form. It's highly detailed, large scale sort of systems, but not individual, sort of like, a new planet has appeared because we just made it procedurally generated. Ha! Nothing like that. There'll be procedurally generated points of interest and stuff like that, like derelicts and anomalies and space stations and facilities and things like that, that you'll be able to find when you're flying out and scanning stuff down, and pirate bases and stuff like that. Getting takeaway tonight. What shall I order? So, I mean, I like a good Mexican. I like a good Indian. I like a good Chinese. I like a good Thai. Depends what you're in the mood for. What was the last takeaway you had and when? Do you think we're ever going to get AI timemates for ships turrets when you play solo? Yes. So there's going to be... The first stage I think we'll see is in the not too distant future, because they're building out the computer systems, AI blades that are allowing these sort of turrets, some of these manned turrets, to not be manned, but to have a derpy AI firing. Then I think you're going to start to see AI wingmen and AI join you on missions, sort of like a little buddy for that mission. And then eventually you'll see AI NPC crew that you'll be able to hire, but that will be further out. What's your favourite system in the Star Citizen universe? I don't know. Excited for Sol, our real home system, and Terra. So, I think my system specs are detailed down below, but I've got a 3950X Ryzen and a 2080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM. Got quite a meaty system. Aztec sent me a Alienware Aurora PC, which I've sort of slightly updated to be more in line with, slightly upgraded for my use, which has been absolutely fantastic. Aztec, thank you very much for that. I need to do some more Aztec stuff for them. I just randomly saying how much I love them, because I love them. Do you think Cloud Imperium will ever punish grey market sellers? I mean, probably not. Why would they? There's a difference between grey market and black markets. I think eventually they'll effectively retire the grey market entirely. Once CIG have released a game and they start wanting to control their currency a bit more, because they'll probably want to sell their in-game currency. That was one of the main plan to, instead of having a subscription, they sell their own in-game currency. And some other stuff like that. I think they'll start to retire the grey market and potentially make it against terms of service. But you're always going to see gold sellers, you're always going to see grey markets in games. Will you play stream Dogfighter on your... I'll do dogfighting on my stream, yeah? I'll do Star Citizen gameplay on my stream. That's the plan, when it's stable enough. Hopefully it's going to be stable enough for me to play some later today with an orc. As a fan of flight simulators, the new flight model feels more natural to me, as well it should. Ship behaviour is much easier for me to predict. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad you're having a lot more fun. I think the flight model and combat stuff now is significantly more fun. Remark: the ship loss is a bug, as I lost other assets besides the cat. Okay, yeah, I believe it's a bug as well. Once the game is released, will CIG let people buy after you see it in-game currency with more money? That is what they have said originally. So they're not having subscription fees, but that's what they're doing. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it needs to not be too aggressive, otherwise you don't want the game to be this pay-to-win bullshit. I'm okay with games having light pay-to-win elements, as long as they do not affect the overall sort of like mega economy. And you go, well, I can't possibly compete with this guy because he spent $1,000. Well, I've played for 30 hours and this guy's only played for 5. Doesn't matter that he spent $1,000. That's all I want. But obviously there's a huge amount of other stuff going on with Star Citizen. Inequality's fine with me. I don't really care. I'm about the stories and the escalation. But that's from how I used to play Eve. My entire PC is built around playing Star Citizen. Will my org be able to build a mini city base that we can use NPCs to protect and harvest and stuff like that? So I believe that's the plan. You'll be able to build outposts using the Pioneer, or there might be some other ways of exploiting resources on planets with those outposts there, and there's going to be defences and things like that. To what extent you can use NPCs to automate some of that process, or AI blades and things, we don't know. Which do you think will be released first, Orison or Proro Phase 1? It looks more likely that Phase 1 of Proro will be released first at the moment, but that could change. Do you think that ships now with real money will be wiped with full release. No, they will not be wiped with full release. Ships bought with real money will not be wiped at full release. You will keep them. Right. When do you think the passenger ships will start flying? So that's the Genesis Starliner. They need to put it in game. They've obviously got some areas at spaceports already built for them, ready to take them once they're actually in game. I don't actually know when they're going to be in game. I expect to see them within the next sort of year or so. Exponential development. Can we expect more features per quarter? Sort of. I mean, we'll see the core of Star Citizen get finished, and that bring a lot more actual, tangible gameplay to the game. There's some quite big ticket items with like the dynamic mission system and the Quanta universe simulator stuff, and then there's loads of gameplay loops. So I'm expecting faster development, effective if Star Citizen once Squadron 42 is done, yes. But that's also because a lot of Star Citizen's core systems will have also been done by that point. Are there any bad takeaways you like? What? No takeaways are bad. Well, it depends on like your general diet, right? So I love Mexican. I love and I love really high carb stuff from Italians and stuff like that. But you have too much of that, too much carb, or too much of the creamy fatty foods, especially if you have lots of them in it regularly. That's pretty bad for you, right? It's a balanced diet. You can have treats. You can often have treats. Hey Bored, wanted to say cheers for all the amazing content. I started playing Star Citizen 2 weeks ago and have been loving all your videos. Appreciated, thank you very much, sir. I've struggled a lot with setting up my HOTAS with the game. Do you think Cloud Imperium should dedicate more time to finalising control schemes before moving forward? Sort of, yes. I sort of want... I don't want them to keep on changing controls. I would like to see a more stable control system. But I don't think we will see a stable control system until after Squadron 42 releases. Or around that time. Squadron 42 is in beta is probably a better way of saying it, actually. They'll go, and now we know all the controls we're going to have. No, in-ship purchases are tied to your account until a reset. Will we get them back? So, if you bought a ship in-game, as in with in-game currency, that can be wiped. Okay, that can be wiped up until the full release. When the full release happens, those will no longer be wiped. However, you can lose them if the insurance lapses on them and then they explode. Yeah? The insurance lapses and then they get destroyed, lose them. That's potentially true of purchasable ships as well. So ships that you've purchased with real money, when there is a wipe in-game for whatever reason, you will not lose them. But if the insurance lapses again, and you lose them after the insurance has lapsed and you don't buy insurance for them, potentially you could lose them. How does the new targeting system work? Pretty simple. Sort of like targets are in a frontal cone. You can select them. When you hover your cursor over something, it sort of like selects it but doesn't lock it. You can press T to lock what's under your cursor, or in a wider area, it will then sort of select anything that's nearby that's appropriate. You can target stuff like that. You can also hold left shift 1, 2, or 3 to pin a target, and then recall that target with 1, 2, or 3. Those targets are shared with anyone else on your ship that's gunning or whatever, so you can actually coordinate attacks. It's pretty basic for a targeting system. It was sort of like, it did strip all the... It stripped all the really easy, simple ways of doing it out originally in the PTU, but they sort of added them back. So it's now just got sort of both functionalities there. But really you need to be... You can see stuff on your radar quite often, but to select a ship, you can't just go select ship anymore. They have to be within the sort of targeting area, targeting range. So it's much more sort of look-based locking and targeting. But the ESP, PIPs, fixed weapons, all massively improved in 3.10. What exactly is the technology I keep hearing them speak of when they talk about delays? Apologies, my technical knowledge is limited. Will this technology speed the game development by a lot? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, that's too vague a question. There's lots of tech the Star Citizen is building for loads of different systems. It's a game in alpha. There's a load of parts of it, that the core systems that are not done. So there's huge amounts of stuff that needs to be done. It's not an MMO yet by any means. There's only 50 players per server. There's server meshing, which is one of the big ticket items that allows the seamless transfer of data between servers, and eventually, when it's dynamic server meshing, allows them to spin up and down servers based on population of an object container. So a single ship could spin up as being a server, but also a room in that ship could be a server. But there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of tech and general development that Star Citizen needs. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean tech, but there's more robust code, loads of stuff. Will you be swapping to a fixed loadout for 3.10? Yes, and already have. Like my Saber, I really like my Saber now. Run around. The Car2 Al is pretty snippy. Really, I just want shield holes to be solved now, but sign distance field stuff is coming. Can you explain, like I'm 5, what ESP is? So ESP, when you're aiming at something, it takes the angle that you're aiming at and the offset of that angle and tries to normalize them. And then when you're moving or aiming, it will try and sort of like try and stay with the target where possible. So it sort of like normalizes movement so you don't overshoot or undershoot. It makes aiming a bit easier. It was overly sticky originally. Now it's not so sticky, so it doesn't sort of like hold your cursor there, so you're always missing or always hitting or whatever. It's sort of like a much more natural feeling, but helping you hit. But also with fixed weapon assist in general, also with ESP, so you're just sort of like getting this it's helping normalize your sort of movements. You're also getting projectiles nudged towards the target as well when you fire, so you're going to be hitting a lot more than you were previously. Have we heard anything on capital ships? Not recently, beyond we know that they were working on Idris missions in-game, so the NPC Idrises were going to be around, that we were going to be able to attack and destroy as part of potentially Xeno-threat missions, which are more leaked. But the Arlington Gang mission, we haven't seen that in 3.11. We were supposed to see it in like 3.9, I think, or 3.8, but it's been delayed. We haven't talked about it. I'm hoping we see it within the next quarter or so. Does the Origin G12... is that close? Does the Origin G12 close, or the cargo just fall out the back when we hit a rock? Assume that it's got a grav... a maglock pad. So assume it's magnetically locked. With the changes to fixed weapons, do you think the Ares will be in the new meta when it comes out? Oh! That's a good point. That, with the current fixed weapon assist, the Ares, the Ion's going to be hitting a lot. The Ares in general, though. The Inferno as well. What footage are you using? So this is from the CitizenCon 2019 gameplay trailer, so we've got a lot of this in game already, but this particular mission, they've got all the tech to put it in. I'm not sure why they haven't put it in yet, or something similar, but they've been working on missions like this, I know. I'm hoping to see some stuff for 3.11, 3.12 for it. We don't have Pyro yet either, obviously, but I'm hoping to see maybe that by the end of the year if we're lucky. Yeah, this is the CitizenCon 2019 gameplay trailer, or gameplay demo that they showed. It's 2 parts merged together. None of the elevators work inside your Carrack. I couldn't get my external elevators working in the PTU for the Carrack. I will mess around with the Carrack again later today, probably. Would you buy the Ares Inferno or the Ion? I like the Ion. I like the idea of using it for alpha striking and supporting fights rather than getting too close, because I think people will be able to outpace it once it's too close. So if a fighter gets really close to it, the Inferno, it's going to be hard to turn and fight. What else have we got? I keep getting 1607 errors. Is there anything I can do about them? I don't 100% know, because I don't know. It could be down to a load of different problems for your personal issues, for your personal Star Citizen issues, I should say. Check on the support.robotspaceindustries.com site. There might be something specific that you can do there to help. Like, for example, when I was having 1607 errors in-game in the PTU with 3.9 a little while ago, I turned on my VPN, and that worked. I think I moved my VPN to the US, and then that worked fine. It was weird. So, Dalamars, try, if you've got a VPN, you can try a free VPN that's not broken if you haven't got a like Nord or something. Try VPNing somewhere and seeing if that works for you. Because it worked for me in 3.9 PTU. I love you, Dalamars, by the way. Yeah, so some people are saying they got loads of 30Ks. Other people are saying they've got none over like 10 hours. How soon can we expect implementation of full server meshing? Full server meshing, so that's not just static server meshing, but dynamic server meshing. At the very earliest, I'd expect end of 2022 for dynamic server meshing. But we don't. That's an I reckon, because we don't have enough information to make that judgment yet. We need to see if they are still close to getting server meshing in game, the static server meshing by the end of this year, and then are they able to get it in the first half of 2021? And then we'll work out what's going on beyond that, because it's another sort of magnitude of tech beyond that. You still need to hop on a ridiculous amount of servers. I seem to be fine. Resets don't work to fix the 16K error. That's good to know. I suspect maybe it will help some people and not others. But don't expect a reset to solve all your issues, and don't try not to do them if you can avoid them. One of the issues I have is that because I don't get that many problems, I think it's because okay, so I probably work around the problems during the Evocardi and PTU phases to quite a significant level. I've probably done lots of stuff, so that when I play in the live builds, I don't get the problems, and other people that get the problems, I don't really have the answers to solve them because I'm not getting those problems. Do you see what I mean? Bit there. Really, I want to be able to solve people's problems with workarounds as a series. I'll look into some more common problems and how to solve them. If there's something I can do. Have they fixed the P-72 so it will respawn if destroyed? I don't know. I deleted my user folder. And I got through, but I got a 30k error instead of a 16k error. Warning, I think my character reset caused a 16k error for me. Okay, that's good to know. But, so, don't do character resets unless you have to. So that's last-ditch attempt. 30k errors in general are an umbrella term for disconnections from the client to the server. So that can be client disconnecting, that can be a server crash, that can be the server disconnecting, that can be timeouts, that can be a huge amount of different things. When is the free fly? Next week? I don't know if there's going to be a free fly with 3.10, or we could see a free fly soon. I don't know. Any info on full persistent universe? Any info on full universe persistence? Where are we in terms of estimate progress? I can't fucking read your thing. Sorry, I really can't fucking read. Ah! Any info on full universe persistence? Where are we in terms of progression estimation? So the first thing you're going to see towards that potentially is this year with the iCache and full persistence. But actually having no more resets or anything, that's a long way away. Yeah, there's currently a partial outage as well for services. for 3.10, which is causing some issues. Right. I'm going to dash off in a second because I need a nap because I've got to be at a big org event later, which I'm going to be recording and getting some content on. Yeah, sorry, I'm absolutely shattered. I've not been sleeping very well. But any other quick questions I can answer? I can't see anything, but then I can't fucking read. Sorry, yeah, I'm a bit out of sorts today, so sorry for that. I might try and stream again on the weekend. Obviously, we've got Star Citizen Live in about 15 minutes' time on the Star Citizen Twitch page, so go check that out. We'll probably go and host someone in a second anyway. But that will be, I think, on props, and I think they're talking about building some new FPS weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna have a little nappy. Over the weekend, I will try and get up a Squadron 42 newsletter update, which will go over a load of the Squadron 42 information that we know, and some other stuff in context with what's happening with Squadron 42, because that Squadron 42 newsletter is the only way we are getting Squadron 42 updates at the moment, but there's quite a lot on it, so that was quite interesting there. Obviously, I haven't done my summary of Inside Star Citizen or yet, so I might just wrap that up with the news that I do tomorrow. Summary, because it wasn't a huge amount of tangible information in Inside Star Citizen, but it did look at some of the cool stuff in the sprint reports, so like Mercury Star Runner and things like that. So it's worth seeing at the very least. So I'll check that in the news probably. But yeah, any feedback that you've got, you can get me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk. You can get me on my discord.gg/boredgamer as well if you want to chat to me on Discord. If you want to further support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube member, subscribing on Twitch, becoming a Patreon, chucking me money, whatever. It all really, really helps. But general feedback and sharing videos and saying, I would like to see this, or why don't you do this? I'd like to see this, or whatever really helps. I don't mind if you've got if you're worried about something about Star Citizen, you don't have to be super positive all the time. You can say you like it, you say you don't like it, you say whatever, say what are you doing about this? I'm interested in hearing people's opinions and experiences with stuff, rather than being told that I'm a beautiful Boardman. It's important people have their opinions and are able to share them in a civil manner, and that we all push towards getting a game that we all want. Now that's obviously slightly complex with the fact we can't all have a game that we want because we're all going to have our opinions, but put it all in the melting pot, and I think that some elements of the game are going to be fucking amazing, and other elements I'm not going to enjoy so much, someone else might, but I don't have to do those. I don't like a particular gameplay loop or mechanic, I'll do something else, sort of thing. But I do want everyone to be able to have their opinion and be able to share it in a civil manner and not worry about sharing it. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Very much appreciated. Sorry I'm calling it a bit short today. I'm going to have a look at... But I've had good experiences with the 3.10 so far. There is a good few errors that... bugs and stuff that I would like to be fixed that are not. I'm me talking in the background. Who shall we online? I'm gonna give Sumac Brothers a bit of some love. Raid him. Bam. And I will post. Yeah. No, that's not what I'll do. I'm bad at games. No, I'm bad at YouTube. I'm bad at streaming. I'm bad at all of it. Bam. Bam. Right. Love you guys. I'm going to bed for a little while, and then I'm going to do some stuff with an org and get some videos up. 3.10. I love you. Thanks for watching. Peace out.